Good morning. I will start with a reading from the Pixar film, The Incredibles. I can't believe you don't want to go to your own son's graduation. It's not a graduation. He is moving from the 4th grade to the 5th grade. It's a ceremony. It's psychotic. As I approach my own psychotic ceremony, together with my fellow classmates, I would like to reflect today on transitions. I think it was in the pandemic that I truly came to appreciate the transitions of college life. There I was, trying to gather the willpower to travel just a few feet from my childhood bed to my desk to take a couple of Zoom meetings, and let me tell you, it really didn't seem worth it. How had I ever managed to actually pack a bag with everything I need for the day, walk all over Cambridge from classes to meals to rehearsals and back, greet friends along the way, and look vaguely presentable while doing it? The digital technology that's enabled us to connect during the pandemic had essentially stripped my routine of the transitions that my brain so dearly needed to reset, readjust, and remain sane. Religious liturgy is full of beautiful transitions. Here at Mem Church, we start off by processing through the sanctuary to our seats, sometimes making eye contact with different congregants, always hoping that Ed won't notice if our processional speed is uneven. We stand up and sit down several times throughout each service. We say Amen to acknowledge our agreement and transition between or out of spoken messages. All of these miniature transitions are not strictly necessary to the message of each service, but they are so beloved to me. And there are the bigger transitions too. Morning prayers are a somewhat arduous transition into the workday. Sunday service somehow keeps the weeks from completely blurring together, and each season of the liturgical year allows us to reflect over and over again on the transitions of Jesus' life and our own. It is sometimes tempting to try to avoid or hide transitions altogether. My dear friend and colleague Isaac recently spoke about the inherent awkwardness of the transition from the unfamiliar to the familiar. As a musician, transitions often feel like the most vulnerable parts of a performance. You may be surprised how much more comfortable I feel actually playing or singing than, for example, walking on and off the stage, tuning my instrument in front of an audience, or actually staying on stage long enough afterward to bow graciously and accept applause, rather than scurrying away as quickly as possible. However, transitions in a performance, both musical and logistical, can be sacred times of community, reflection, and appreciation. When the topic of my Harvard graduation first came up, I was reluctant to encourage my family to attend. My parents and brothers are currently stationed in Chad, in Central Africa, on assignment for the US military, and their trip to Cambridge will require several long flights in the middle of my brother's school year. Plus, I couldn't help but feel that graduating was one of the least exciting things I do in college. It's really just a transition, coming after all the real achievements and challenges of our time at Harvard, and before those of our next phase. But I hope we will give ourselves grace in whatever our next transitions may be, and reach out to others in our communities, accepting their outreach in return as we navigate these changes. Those awkward in-between times that we take for granted or even complain about now may be the very thing keeping us healthy. I'd like to conclude with a few words of thanks. I am so grateful for the opportunity to spend this time in community with you as we transition out of morning prayers for the year, and as I transition out of this community that I've loved so dearly since the fall of 2018. I am grateful to Ed for believing in me. I am grateful to my co-secretaries and secretaries before me for their endless support, friendship, and thoughtful leadership. I am grateful to my quad squad for so many beautiful walks at 7:44 a.m. sharp. I am grateful to the Memorial Church staff for the care they show in going above and beyond for this community. I am grateful to all of you for showing up this once or hundreds of times at this ungodly yet somehow incomparably godly hour, and listening to whatever sounds we manage to make each day. Most of all, I am grateful to my fellow U-choristers. Every note, breath, hug, step, tear, baked good, group me message, and gesture of friendship has meant so much to me. U-choir love. Thank you.